topic is all about books, which was suggested by somebody. And so I literally went downstairs and grabbed every single book that I knew that my kids liked. And I have them to share. And I'm hoping that you guys also share your kids' favorite books. And yeah, so just really quick, if you are just catching this really quick for the first time to my channel, my name is Leilani, and I have been doing lives every Tuesday, 9:45 p.m. because it's the summer, and I'm here to encourage homeschool moms, answer homeschool mom questions, special needs, parents with children that have autism, Down syndrome, ADHD, all y'all. If you have questions, I can answer them because I am a former public and private school teacher, and I homeschool now my 4 beautiful children. We have ADHD, we have Down syndrome, not immediate family, but family extended. There is autism, and I've worked with kids that have unique abilities. I have no voice right now, and I apologize. I think it's a mix of going to the FPEA this weekend and just, trying to catch up with everything. So, okay, so I'm going to start. And of course, like if you have any homeschool questions in general, feel free to just put them at the bottom. And if the audience like goes in that direction, okay, that's cool. But if you have books that you want to share, I'm asking you guys to share any books that your kids, any age, read and like. So, I'll start my, so, one of the dilemmas that I face is the whole idea of what kind of books am I going to let my children read, what are appropriate, and every family is different. We have different credentials that go along with what we think is best for our children to read, and it's a struggle because one person may say, this book is fabulous, it's amazing, and then we get it, we read it, and we found out that it doesn't really sit right with us, or it doesn't fit. Like, it may not be good at all. That might be a problem, if it's not good, but it may not sit well with you in general. So I just, I have a lot of biblical morals, that I want to make sure that my kids are getting really good literature that can kind of coincide with some of those strong biblical values. Okay. Yes, I do see a difference between All About Spelling old and new. I do. I actually do. And I found out this week, definitely. So the new one is much more hands-on, not hands-on, I'm sorry. The new one has a workbook and actually doesn't match so I tried to use the old workbook with the old teacher's guide with the new workbook, and it doesn't coincide. It covers the same stuff, but it's kind of jumbled in different spots. Like they changed the order. But the workbook is new. The colored workbook is new. And the new teacher manual teaches you how to use the workbook. And I don't have the new teacher manual, so I couldn't really use the workbook until I get the new workbook. But I did see that it doesn't coincide because I tried to use the set of cards and I had to like figure it all out. And we did a quick review because my children have done All About Spelling too. And we did like a quick run through it and like as a review. And that's when I found out that that's what we're running into, because I bought the workbook thinking it would go, oh, well, it's different. It's different. It's updated. I do like the workbook though. Sorry, I'm grabbing my tea and I shouldn't be drinking tea. Okay, books. I got to go back to books because some people may get the thumbnail. Yeah, I think that answers your question. Okay. So I'm going to go back to books just because that was the topic. But if you have another question, see, I literally went down and like got a bunch of books. So the first things that I'm going to mention, I know I was talking about like Christian biblical concepts in the literature that our kids read. However, these aren't secular. These are secular. And I'm literally, like I said, I ran downstairs before this and I just started grabbing everything off my shelf that my kids like. Let me see, did I get all the ones? No, I didn't, but I think this will explain. So we went through a phase where we really liked Usborne, or now Paper Pie. And I got all of these. I don't know if you've seen these books. They're like understanding, and then it's a topic. So we got economics, all the economic ones. So there's like the money, there's business. I forgot what the other ones. There's like 4 different ones. I think there's an American government one too. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the Lamplighter books. What's your favorite one? I'm curious. I'll tell you in a second if you stick around. My kids' favorite ones. Anyway, so I'll do those after I go over these. This is it's Usborne Money, Understanding Money. So my kids have I know it's nonfiction, but for some reason they've managed to like read all of them multiple times, like all of my kids. And they think, and some of the ones like the you'd be careful because when you get into like the astronomy or the science side of things, they do believe in evolution. So they're gonna actually like talk about that perspective. But it's a lot. The history one is good. For example, the money one is good. Even the physics one, I didn't think the physics one went too much into it. It basically talked more about like physical science and like the laws of, thermodynamics and stuff like that. So this is money. These are great. And when my kids know all this stuff about economics because they've read these several times. There's a lot of really fun facts, and you can see the pictures are really fun too. Ours so far, and you know what, I pulled Teddy's button. I have that one with me, actually. This is the other one that I have from Usborne, which they sort of liked, but this came out during the pandemic, and they have like little flappies, and you can read. This is definitely upper elementary, even like middle school. So this is really fun. Okay, let me grab my Lamplighters. So we have a subscription to Lamplighter. I had to cave big time. And I actually went and visited at the FPA. I went to their booth. Let me grab mine. I grabbed 2. So I should have grabbed all of them. That's what I should have done. I should have there's so many of them we have. My kids are reading them like crazy, I can tell you. So, yeah. So we had the FPA this weekend. So they asked, let me read it out loud if you can't see it. Are there any homeschool conventions coming up this summer here in Florida? We just had this last weekend, the Florida Parent Education Association, which is, now I know, the largest homeschool convention in the world. Pretty sweet. Well, they said nation, and then like by default, the world. Because the only other, there's little ones here and there. There is the Global Homeschool Convention, which I'm praying one day I'll get to speak at. That's kind of my dream. But that one's in England this year. I think it's been in Brazil and it's been in Russia. That one's big, but it's not as big as the FPA, which I found out. I could be wrong, but that's what I've heard via rumor talking. I know the Great Homeschool Convention is really big, but I've been told FPA has now surpassed it, which is huge because the Florida, the one that I just said has always been a good one. Yeah, it is crazy. There's one, so FPA is both secular and sacred. Like it's homeschool in general. There is like a little bit of like the majority of the people there are going to be Christian. It's just the majority, but not everything. Like Easy Peasy Science is secular, and lots of different vendors were secular. There is one, the Florida Education Association is 100% secular. So I actually spoke there at their convention last year, and I was actually told that I could not share any of my faith. And I had a booth and I couldn't sell anything because my book does have some faith-based ideas in it. But that one is strictly secular. Even though there were people that walked up that were Christian, it was the closest one that they had around. So there is that one. They're actually going strictly online. I did not do that one this year, even though it is online. I did not do this one. I did not do that one this year because I just was so overwhelmed. And it's funny because Brenda asked me about that. And Brenda is our lobbyist because I actually, if you were at the FPA, you saw that I helped both the FPA and I actually volunteered with the Home Education Foundation booth. as much as I could to kind of help relieve them. They had a lot of board meetings, and there were senators there and speaking and panels. It was so awesome. Okay, back to I'm rambling about the FBA. I'm boring you guys. We're here to talk about books. But another one is if you're in the Tampa Bay area, and because Tampa is, it's crazy. Tampa is the largest one in Florida, like the area. It's actually the largest in the world. It's growing. Tampa is a huge homeschool community, and they're having a Tampa Bay homeschool convention. That one takes place in Trinity. It's July 20th, and I'm actually speaking at that one. I'm doing 3 talks. So yeah, so excited. That one is, I'm just excited. Like, the people that are involved are incredibly amazing. I actually interviewed Kim, who runs the Tampa Bay Homeschool Convention. So she's awesome. She's so awesome. We love her. And we also love Susan Nunn. I love Susan. She is so sweet. She's the one that runs the FPA and is in charge of all the things. And you would think, like, she's so sweet. She's just so sweet. I don't even know how to, like, she's just a sweetheart. And there's such a beautiful team of leaders in the Florida Parent Education Association that just keeps that whole thing running. And I met some amazing, like Michelle Manley is another leader. And she's awesome too. It's so funny because both Susan Nunn and Michelle Manley are in Tampa area, and they're the leaders of, they're running the FPA, and Tracy, like all these people, I've known them, but like I feel like I haven't gotten to really know them. I want to get to really know them. You guys are writing and I'm rambling. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I'm just telling you how amazing these people are. We can't seem to finish all the great books related to the American Revolution. We will continue through the summer. Just finish Tolvier's Secret and started Mr. Revere and sequel to Ben and Me today. Okay. All right. We can't seem to finish all the great books related to, it's hard. See, I don't know, is that a series? Now I'm curious. I go to boot camp in 3 weeks. Okay. We will pray. I'm telling you, that's tough. Congratulations on 3 seminars at the conference. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm thrilled. Like, I'm beside myself. And what's really funny, so I don't know, this is like, I don't even know if you care about this or not, but I start rambling and I get really excited about all the opportunities that I get to, like, I get excited. I get excited. I have to calm down. But it was funny because I told someone at the FPA, but I accidentally told them twice how excited I was about doing the convention in Tampa again. And they looked at me and they're like, I go, I told you that already, didn't I? And they go, you're really excited, aren't you? And they said it in like the most sarcastic way. I'm like, yeah, I am. Because one of the talks that she wants me to do, as I was writing it, and am writing it, I'm still filtering, I have a while. I filtered through it. I realized that it is my keynote speech, because I was told I have actually someone that I work with that actually has been coaching me and working with me. Her thing was like, you do a lot of teaching talks a lot. You need to have a keynote speech. And so I've been researching like how to write a keynote talk and blah, blah, blah. Because she wants to help market me as a keynote, right? So I gotta have a keynote talk. Well, the one thing that she wants me to talk about is a keynote style talk. So I'm really excited. So I'm done being excited. Okay. I really love the curriculum from Classroom Complete Press. The novel study guides are a great source of literature study for okay, so that's good reading. My Father's World for multiple children. I love My Father's World so much. It's one of those curriculums that I listed as I really wish I really wish that I did this one, but it was, I knew that if I started My Father's World, I wouldn't get a chance to pick and choose. Like, I'm very eclectic with my things. And actually, I was actually looking at another one that's very similar to My Father's World. And if you, for whatever reason, don't like My Father's World, look at the Trail Guide series by Geo Matters. It's written by Ashley Wiggers. So it's like it teaches everything through the eyes of geography and history. So they start off with the American history, and it's beautiful, like the way that it is written. I loved it, and I wanted to use it this year. But like I said, if I used it, I wouldn't be able to use Apologia, which I'm obsessed with. And it's one of those that I just love. And I even went up to Ashley because Ashley was at the conference. Ashley's amazing, first of all. Her mom was Debbie Strayer, and Ashley is just amazing. So she said that they didn't have a booth this year for Trail Guide and GeoMatters, specifically because they're working on a new project. I think that's all I'm allowed to say. So that's kind of exciting because, you know, new stuff is always good. So I love my father's world. I really do. And I think once you get used to using it, I've evaluated a lot of families that use it and just they keep using it because they love it. So it claims to be classical. See, that's the thing that I question a lot about it, is it does claim to be classical education from a biblical perspective, or Hebrew classical. And I have not yet been convinced of that because if you ever notice, a lot of these classical education curriculums out there are very Greek and Latin heavy, and they teach a lot of the philosophers and stuff. So my father's world actually says they're classical, but they have a twist of Charlotte Mason in them as well. But they say they're classical with a Hebraic mindset is how. Now, and of course, like, I just question that a little bit because my understanding of Hebraic mindset is a little bit different, but I'm not 100% sure. I think when they say Hebrew mindset, I think what they're saying is instead of focusing on the Greek and the Latin, they're focused on the Hebrew, and they're focused on like the history of the Hebrews or the Israelis or Israel of the Jews. So I think there's a lot of that kind of focus to it. Yeah. So, but I almost want to look at their high school stuff because I have lots of thoughts on, if you're interested in that stuff, I do have resources and I can't see because I'm not wearing my glasses, but just let me know if you want them and I'll look at them. Do you trust the PEP scholarship? Y'all are asking me questions. I want to get to the books. Okay, PEP scholarship. Do I trust? See, that's really a loaded question right there when you phrase it like that. Do I trust? I don't trust any scholarship. To be honest, PEP, there's a lot of faults with it, as in like, because somebody walked up to us, because I was at the HEF booth, and it's actually really funny. Oh dear. When I was at the HEF booth, there was a panel, Step Up for Students. Oh my gosh, Step Up for Students had a line for people wanting to talk to them. And there were 4 people at their booth just answering questions. And it was like, you could tell, and they sent like the tough people to answer the questions. So I never got a chance to talk to Step Up for Students. But when I was there, there was a panel and they could do questions. And it got a little heated. But in the middle of the panel, he's like, one of them was like, you need to go see HEF. HEF has the answers to these type of questions that you are asking. So when that happened, everybody who was like the board of HEF, and then of course Brenda, who is our lobbyist, and Jason, who are our lobbyists, were like, okay, we're ready for it. Come to our booth. And so I was there through some of those questions just to kind of get we kind of stationed ourselves at the HEF booth. All my kids are friends with their kids, so it's like, it's kind of funny. One of the questions was not, do I trust it? But she was like, what is the downside? I want to know what the negatives are for the PEP. And the only negatives that were coming through were, it is a lot of work on your part as a parent, and there is that idea that it could change anytime. Like if things go through legislate, it could change from year to year. But the comfort in all of that is that if anything makes you actually uncomfortable, you can just drop out of the program and it's like done. So yeah, that's the beauty of that. That's what I was hearing. Of course, all these questions that you guys have on PEP, to get the best answer, like if I can't answer it or if you don't trust my answer, you go to their Facebook group on Mondays at I think it's 12 o'clock. You have to double check. They have live streams for an hour. Brenda and Jason are on there just answering questions. And that's a beautiful thing that our lobbyists in the state of Florida are literally there to hear from you. And yeah, that's where you can get the best answers ever because they are listening to you and then they're taking that to Tallahassee and they're lobbying for you. So it's like super important for you to go and voice your thoughts and questions and concerns. Do I use the PEP scholarship? As of right now, I have one child on the PEP. I do have 3 children on the UA. PEP will not cover all the finances that the UA scholarship covers. That's the reason, well, that is the reason, and also the UA gives more money. But there is a push to change the PEP. That is true. And there will always be that push because the government wants to give homeschoolers money. That's why the PEP was created. If the PEP wasn't created, these are my thoughts, they would have tried to manipulate our homeschool laws because you would not believe how pushy it can be. So the PEP was, you're taking a gamble. But right now it functions like homeschool. I'm losing people because I'm supposed to be talking about books. I just realized it. Okay, so just both good historical fiction books written in that time period, like Phoebe and the Spy. I will show you next week when you see. Okay, cool. You'll show me. All this for 13 viewers out. Okay. At the convention, Andrew Pudaw did a workshop about fairy tales. Oh, yes. I was at that one. He compared Harry Potter to Lord of the Rings, and he had an interesting perspective. Yeah, I know what he said. He did. He said, please. Oh, by the way, side note, Japanese Ally says, I heard My Father's World has a great historical curriculum. Okay, so okay, I'm reading the comments. I was thinking, so Andrew Pudaw said, Harry Potter, the good guy, basically, to sum it up, the good guys were the ones, the characters that you could relate to in Harry Potter were the ones that were doing magic. So the reason it was so different than the Lord of the Rings was because the people that us as humans related to were the people that were doing magic, right? And so that would cause us to want to do those kind of things. Whereas in the Lord of the Rings, the people that were doing magic were like the wizards and the elves. Do they do magic? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. I've read the series. I really have. But the people that we relate to in the Lord of the Rings are the hobbits. And so there's a difference, and apparently Tolkien did that on purpose, because it was the hobbits that were relying on something else. And we related to the hobbits. And who was the other group? The hobbits and I forgot the other group that we related to. But the hobbits, I relate to hobbits. I'm tiny and short. So I definitely relate to hobbits. I'm not hairy, though. I don't have hairy feet. Sorry. Anyway, that was a very interesting perspective. Okay, list of books reading. My Father's World. Someone in the chat catch me up. I never heard about Hebraic versus Greek logic until you mentioned it somewhere. I did mention it. Hebraic logic is box. It's in boxes. And then, wait, you clump things together in boxes and things may not make sense. Greek is very linear, is from what I understand. I'm trying to remember how I can't think of it. I literally looking at my shelf right there because I know it's over there, the book. But it is something to look into. And I feel like not all of I feel like it's just scraping the surface because the way that the Hebrews thought, was very different than the way the Greek thinks. So the Hebrew, like the Hebrews, was very based on action, um, and what you do, and the Greek is more based on what you say. So there's like a, anyway, it's very, I'm just not even scratching the surface of it. So, okay. Books. The Lord of the Rings is amazing. All right, that's an interesting point about Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. Yeah, in Narnia too. Everybody knows that C.S. Lewis and Tolkien were in a competition, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me share these books. Okay, I ran to the end. So we were talking about these books right here, which are, this was Teddy's Buttons. It's so good. And I know a lot of you, let me just fix something really quick. Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. So this is Teddy's Buttons, which is something that was mentioned in the chats as being a really, really good book. It's a very easy read. We actually read this as a family, and it's about a young boy. And this is Lamplighters, by the way, guys. This is Lamplighters. It was written in 1890. The author doesn't even have an author. Amy Lefevre or whatever. I don't know how to say her name. I'll just show it up here. Okay, so family favorite introduces part of our set of collection character building books. So Teddy is a delightful character full of energy and fun, determination to be a good soldier like his father. So well, you gotta read the book. His father bringing him face to face with the decision to serve in the Lord's army. And so he gets saved or enlists in the army. He realizes that battles cannot be won with guns, swords, and hate because of his greatest enemy, that is himself. So I'm talking about Lamplighters right now. This is Lamplighters right here. So this is great. Teddy's Buttons. Now, we read this when my oldest was in 5th grade, and we did it as a read aloud. Like I said, it's amazing. You can actually get audio with Lamplighters. If you do Lamplighters, please leave in the comments your favorite one. I know somebody said Teddy's Buttons. Now, this is my son's favorite. And it's funny because when I asked him, I go, which one is your favorite? And he's like, this one. This is Tip Lewis and his lamp, okay? And none of these has pictures. They're not picture books. And I'm like, why is it your favorite? He goes, I don't know. It's just my favorite. And he couldn't explain it to me why it was his favorite. He was like, it's so good. And I'm like, dude, we got to work on your vocabulary and like communication skills here because I want to know why this book is so good. So then when I went to the Lamplighters booth this last weekend and I was looking through their books and I found this book and I go, oh, and I just mentioned it. The guy at the booth, he goes, oh, that's like the best book. And I'm like, why is it so good? And he looked at me and he goes, it's just really good. You got to read it. I'm like, that's what my son said. Dude, what is this book about? Why is it so good? So I finally got, I don't know, maybe this says it. I'll read it to you. I found another gem that compels me to say this is the best book I ever read. I know this sounds like an exaggeration, especially when you've heard me say so many times, but this is different. You know how much I love Teddy's Button, but I must say this book exceeds all the Lamplighter books in evangelism, character development, friendship, sibling relationships, parent relationships, education, career advancement, and so much more. Tip Lewis and his lamp has it all. It's hard to believe that a story that has already engaged my mind and heart so deeply could just keep getting better. Yeah, that's pretty much. He doesn't tell you what the book's about. They've got to have something. And then I'll just tell you what they told me. Is this Amy? Is this? No, this is another person. I was going to say this looks like it's the same book, same as Teddy's Button. Okay, from what I understand is basically the idea is it's a boy and he's struggling just like life. And his lamp is the Bible. And as he goes through, like, I think it starts, I don't know how old he is, but it starts when he's a child. And so as he grows and he faces different circumstances, he keeps going back to his lamp, which is his Bible. Hold up again. Oh, yeah, hold it up again. Okay, here you go. Take a screenshot. Tip Lewis and his lamp. Okay, I hope you got it. That's the premise of the whole book. And apparently this is just as he grows up, this is what he develops as part of his lifestyle. The Bible becomes his lamp, and it carries him through life. So that's what the book is about. As I'm saying it, like, I almost want to, like, it just sounds amazing. So, and then when I was at the booth, okay, I'm going to see. So I have this. There's one called The Battle and The Giant Killer. So The Giant Killer is the first one. And then The Battle. It's a series. It's a 2-part series. I heard that was amazing. So I think just based on that title, The Giant Killer and The Battle kind of sums up what it's about. Another one that Escape from Eagle's Nest we got. I don't know how good that one is, but I like the fact that some of these books take place in different parts of the world. So Escape from Eagle's Nest takes place in the Middle East, not necessarily Israel, but I think it has to do with, oh, you read The Giant Killers. So was it good? And what is it about? Like a quick couple sentences. But Escape from Eagle's Nest is what we got. That one takes place in the Middle East. I think it's maybe Arabia. It's historical because it was written a long time ago. Maybe, I don't know. So The Giant Killer, what's another one that he said was good? Let me see if I can find another one. There was one that took place during Christmas, but I don't remember which one that was. Oh, The Basket of Flowers. I was told that one was really good, and that was one of the best ones. That's more of a girl type book. Throw Me Overboard, I think we got, but I don't know much about that one yet. As I'm reading these and checking to see if any of you are commenting. We have Books of the Year. So there's a Tip Lewis, Come What May. That one's coming out 2024. So I don't know if it's a sequel to this one. If it is, I know that we are getting that. I am looking. We got Joseph's Shield. I don't know what that's about though. Let me find one that sticks out. Sir Malcolm and the Missing Prince, he said, was really good. I'm trying to read and keep talking at the same time. Okay. Teddy's Buttons. The Three Weavers I am buying. They have audio. That's the other thing that's really cool is they do have audio that you can buy with these that I heard was really cool. Best for Rosa in the Linden Castle I was told was good. That's a girl type book. Yeah, that's all I can remember off the top of my head with trying to read and keep you guys engaged. Okay. Oh, what's nice is they do tell you what grade level. This one was 4.5, but even though this is 4.5, my son, who is going in 9th grade, read it and loved it. So he's now reading Wide Wide World, which is like the thickest Lamplighter book. I don't know. I don't know. You have to go to their website and see if it's a dramatized version. Go to the website. And what's cool is the scholarship will pay for it. The PEP will pay for it too because it's a book subscription. Okay, so back to The Giant Killers. How to deal with negative behaviors and how we can defeat them. Like giant anger, etc. It's a mom leading her children through stories to defeat those hard emotions. Ooh, I want to read it out. That sounds good. So The Giant Killers. The audio and book version is different. Oh, okay, that's interesting. Okay. Anyway, we are gonna that's on my next order. We read the book though. Cool. That's on my next order, The Giant Killers and The Battle. The Battle keeps getting sold out and bumped down my list, so I can't get it on my subscription. But those are really good. That sounds amazing. Okay. You can jump back and talk about Lamplighters if you want. Feel free to. But I do have some other books that I grabbed. This is secular, but it's really good. It's called Benny's War. There's another one. These take place in Israel, and it's about, this one I believe is the 7-day war. It's about the brothers, because the two wars that happened in Israel happened so close to each other. And so when we did a unit study on Israel, we read these two books back to back. I can't remember. This is the 6-Day War. This one's on the 6-Day War. And the other one was, no, where his family moved at the end. Okay, the 6-Day War was the first book, and this one's the Yom Kippur Wars. So this is Benny's War, and it's really good. It just, we forget about those wars sometimes, and they were very landmark when it came to the nation of Israel being a nation. So they were good books, and we did a unit study on Israel, and we learned about all the things. These books are good too. Okay, so this one I think is for older kids. This one is The Awakening Fire by Cassidy Feline. I can't say her name. And my son read it, and he said it was really, really good. It was actually written by a friend of mine. This is her pen name. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but I just did. It's definitely for older kids, like teens. And even though the ancients have been gone from the world for nearly 1,000 years, their law still holds sway over the minds of men. 3 men hold a claim on the kingdom's empty throne. So it's definitely fantasy. So that's another one if you're interested that we read. And let's see what else. I mean, okay, y'all have read these books, and if you haven't, you know what I'm talking about. So, these guys. And the authors were actually at the FPA too, which was really cool. If you go back and see my expo video, I like walk right by with my camera, and the authors are standing right there, and I'm like, oh, it's the authors, and I start running away because I felt awkward at the moment. I don't know, it was like one of those moments. I do feel awkward when I live stream sometimes. So the puppet guy was like really like, hey, and I'm like, hey, and so anyway, all right, And They Found Dragons. This is Ted Dekker right here. And They Found Dragons. This is a series, and this is it is based on biblical morals and inspired by those things. So Jack is just 12, born on an ark orbiting Earth among 169 survivors of a global apocalypse who eagerly awaits the planet's restoration so they can return to the surface. Oh, that's an interesting question. Are we still protected under HSLDA if we are? That's a question asked them. I have no idea. I don't know the answer to that question. I do not know. That's a really good question. I don't know. Okay, so And They Found Dragons. This is a really good series. Have you read the Tuttle Twins, the chapter books? Yes, I have. Don't ask me what I think about them. Don't ask me what I think about them. Don't ask. You're going to ask, because now you want to know what I think about them. Can I think about how to respond to that for a second? All right, and I'm going to show you these books. This is also Ted Dekker. Okay, my kids really like him. Ted Dekker's a really good author, so his stuff is based on biblical ideas. So this one is I think he's new because him and his wife are like going nuts. Like they're like hardcore in it with the good, I'm not the only one. Sorry. They are pretty much every like online convention I see them there. This is their series. My son loved the first 2 books. He said the third one was slow, but the 4th book picks up. What? Megan, if you like the Tuttle Twins, then you'll love... I see where you're getting at. If you love the... I don't know. I got to think of a book that could... They come from a very unique perspective. I get it. I don't even want... I think when I read that book, I was kind of like, huh. Yeah. Here's another Ted Dekker. This is the Millie Maven series. We like Ted Dekker. I don't have words. I think I've described how I feel about Tuttle Twins. Because there's things I like about it. There's things I don't like about it. And there's a lot of things that I don't know if I like or not like about it. So it's a very, yeah. And, yeah. That's where I stop. I'm going to grab a book over here. I'm going to keep talking as I walk over here because I wanted to show you what I got for Naomi. And we have been going, I don't even have my books that I got from the conference up here. I need to find where I put those because I love New Leaf Press. I'm kind of really into them right now. They have some really good books. They have a gospel Bible and I got it. I just don't like the pictures. No offense to the illustrator, but I don't. And they kind of freak out my daughter a little bit. But I did get these. There's 3 of them and one of them's in my daughter's room right now. And this is Sally Michael. This is for obviously younger kids. Rachel. Hold on, wait. Tuttle Twin books are good starts. That's a really good answer. So she says Tuttle Twin books are good starts to conversations with kids. But I'm glad I got them secondhand and didn't pay full price. They're really good to start conversations with. Yes. All right. So, this is really good. This lady's amazing. Anything by her is I love her. Okay. And this was, really convicting because she has a way of just finding ways to glorify God through everything. Pictures are beautiful. We read this out loud. And, I read it multiple times to my daughter. I'm working through the first one right now. The back does have, oh my goodness, a parent's note. And then they also have some activities right here. Oh, this is also another one that's really good. Wait, in the end, you will learn about more than 20 disabilities. Are we talking about Tuttle Twins? Or are we talking about this one? Good gifts come from God. Because New Leaf Press, well, they have a counselor series. What to do when I'm angry, what to do when I'm, well, it doesn't say that, but it's like, it implies that. Anyway, these are really good. I wish she wrote more of these, but I really like these. I went through all my books, and I'm yawning, and I'm sorry I'm yawning. Oh my goodness. Okay, so any other books that you guys have? What should I talk about next week? What are we going to talk about next week? I feel like I could do a whole one on PEP, but I don't have all the answers, and I literally will be like, this is my opinion. This is my experience. This is what you do on the way, because, I've worked with the PEP. Oh, Brave Books for Littles. We have a subscription to them, too. Now, see, here's the reality. Tying in the PEP thing, because we have the PEP and the UA scholarship, we're able to get all these things and try them out. So, yeah, we have Brave Books. I actually do. That's that if you like Tuttle Twins, you would love Brave Books. That's a good, yes. I do like Brave Books. I got them for Naomi thinking they were at her level and found out they weren't. And I was kind of sad about that. I do need to contact them because they sent me the wrong one. They were supposed to send me Saga 1, number 3, but they sent me Saga 3, number 3. Said Dead Sea Squirrel Books to everyone. That's Larry the Cucumber. I have no clue how to say the guy's name. Larry the Mike. He was at the conference too, and he signed books. And I'm telling you, this conference was huge. Like, I would literally, if you live in Georgia or Louisiana or like Alabama, Mississippi, if you live there, I would literally drive down to this convention because it is so big. They have everything. So Mike was there. Larry the Cucumber was there. Go look at my expo hall thing. Like, it was, I took a tour of it. It's on my lives. Saturday I jumped on. I was totally spontaneous. And I was like, let's do a live. Let's do it. Let's walk. Because we got there really early as people were filtering in from the keynote speaker, which they had, I think Jenny Urich did it. She's awesome. And then there was this guy, Joel, something, can't know his last name, but they did a lot of farming stuff this year. They actually do, yeah, he's really tall. Is it Norowski? Is that how you say his name? He's really, really tall. Like, I know if Naomi was there, she wasn't there with me, but I would be like, okay, look, I don't want to be that annoying person to ask you to do the Larry the Cucumber voice, but like, you kind of have to right now because my daughter has Down syndrome. I literally would have said that. Yes, I would. I would have like manipulated him into doing the Larry the Cucumber voice. That would be me. That's so awful. That's how he says it. I said it right. Sweet. Ooh, I almost knocked over my camera. Trying to think what else. Yeah, the Dead Sea Scroll books, I've never read them. I know that some people, I'll be honest, like, I don't really know much about him as a person, but I do know that there are some, and I think it's important to mention in general, because I know there's some people out there that, some apologists that have issues with some of his theology, that it may lean in towards a little bit of a name it, claim it. I don't know all the details. So I don't know. I'm just saying that might be something you just want to put in the back of your mind and just be like, okay. Like the Word of Faith movement. I don't know. I almost want to ask my husband. Which one of my kids is up? I think the second boy is up. Nope, it's a girl. Hannah's up. But yeah, I don't know. I would just kind of stick that in the back of your mind. I don't think I've noticed that it was like really theologians that are like, I don't even know what the word would be to use, but theologians that have like doctorate's degree and stuff like that are the ones that are saying this. And I don't think in a children's book it would come out. I don't know. I know that I've read them. I know that my sister-in-law, who has a lot of the same theology I do, has let her children read them. She's read them and we borrowed them, and yeah, but I've never read them. So just something to throw out. I always like to keep my ears open for things like that. So, but he was really nice. He was really nice and really tall. And my kids love Veggie Tales. So I get excited like seeing him there. I was like, cool. He's part of Realm, I think is the name of the book publishing company. Realm Press or something. They had a bunch of books out. And I don't think all of their books they said had a biblical author or biblical inspiration. Hey, what should I talk about next week? Because I've got about 10 minutes. What do you guys think we should talk about? What should we tackle next week? What do you think? Do you like my mug? Okay. Would you feel comfortable chatting next week about, if you think so, I can talk about it. I mean, better net yet, why don't I get Jason? No, I don't want to bug Jason. He needs to sleep. That boy's busy. Jason Crawford is our lobbyist. He's the lobbyist so Brenda is the lobbyist that's been doing it since like 1982 or something like that. And she is wanting to retire, but she needs someone to eventually fill her shoes. And Jason came on board, and he's the lobbyist too. for the last year, and he's we're like, our families are friends. I've been friends with his wife for like 10 plus years. Um, so anyway, they moved to Tallahassee. It was really sad. My kids and her kids are friends. It was very difficult. We lived close to each other and all the things. It was so sad. I start talking about this every time I get on the personal side of things. But Jason is the lobbyist. He is officially a real lobbyist. He's got his license and all the things, but she is still working with him, and slowly, I think, the process of giving him over, like letting him take over. I don't know how it works, but he's eventually, like, she's 81. So, and she's like smart as a whip too. But yeah, I can try my best to talk about PDP. It won't be as busy. I'm going to do the best that I can. I'm a little bit nervous too, just because there's a lot that I don't know. And I don't want to, I might just say, I don't know. Please go ask them on Hef. You could even, there's a forum on their website too. There's a forum. And the other thing I get nervous about too, I just have to make sure I date it, because a lot of the information that I will give you in any of these videos, but I end up giving you information anyway, could change in a couple months or like in a year. So I give a video, I need to probably mute it, but there's a video that I have on my channel that's a year old, and all that information is out of date. So I probably need to mute that. Okay, any other topic ideas? I almost feel like I might just ask Jason if he thinks it's wise for me to talk about that. I don't know yet. All right. Any other topics? Any other topic suggestions? High school. We could talk about high school. We could, oh yeah, you guys don't know this. I might as well just tell you, I am co-hosting a podcast with Peggy Plower called Sped Homeschool. She was prepping kids for college versus trades. Yes. Yeah, because I'm doing all that research right now. And I ran into a dilemma because I went to 2 different talks during the conference, and they were slightly conflicting. But one of them surprisingly made me feel awful. Like, I feel like I was meant to go in there to be like encouraged, because the person who was speaking was someone that I admire tremendously. Thank you. And I was so discouraged. Like, I was hyped afterwards, but I was discouraged after I walked out, especially because I took my son to hear it. And after he listened to it, he was just like, you could tell it just overwhelmed him. And it brought me back to the reason why we're homeschooling is because we work at our children's pace, and we have to. Not all of our kids are going to be brilliant and move really fast. However, the parents who have kids that are brilliant and get their bachelor's degree by the time they're 16, it's great that they homeschool because they can move them fast. Yeah, but those of us who have children that have some delays, special needs, emotional, cognitive ADHD, like, we're going to move slower through this process. And what they call the super senior year, which I don't know if you guys are familiar with the super senior year, but it's when you do high school for 5 years and you graduate after 5 years, whatever that means, however that means, whether you do dual enrollment or if you just need time to get through some of the credits to make sure you can make the right grades. And it's totally fine to do super senior year. So that's what I love about homeschooling. And when we start to compete and compare ourselves to each other, we just have to keep coming back to the fact that we're all different. And that's why we're homeschooling. Okay. So yeah, don't feel pressured to chat. I get so nervous about PEP. I I can talk about it, but I might not advertise it. How about that? Like maybe, maybe I could address Florida homeschooling like in general. But then that leaves out a lot of other people too, because not everybody's Florida. Yeah. I mean, people, amen. Okay, wait, hold on. Think you always think of something in my week and say, oh, I need to make a note and ask Leilani on her life. Amen. People sometimes assume homeschool kids are super geniuses and make normal feel bad. Yeah, they're not super geniuses. They move at their own pace. Like, I was even thinking it because I see myself in, there's one kid particular, I'm not going to tell you who, that I see a lot of myself in them and a lot of their struggles that they're having currently right now with some of their work. And I go, hey, that was me in high school. I was horrible at English. When it came to writing papers and understanding like difficult passages and books and stuff like that, I struggled. I would read a book and the teacher would be like, so what does this character represent? And I was like, I don't know. Or I would make up something really weird and crazy and then they're like, no. And I'm like, I don't even see it. Like I can't, like my brain, so I made C's in my English class and I was so frustrated. And I just, now I'm seeing one of my children, they're struggling with that ability to communicate. And that's why we have been pushing so much writing and rhetoric with them, because we want to strengthen that area, even though it's really hard for them right now. So, and I am pushing IEW, I'm pushing, writing in general. So, and communicating, talking, using words, using vocabulary, finding different ways to explain things. And it's an area that I've had to work on tremendously my whole life. And that's why I got involved with drama and that kind of stuff. And so now I actually like doing it. But I developed a lot slower than most people in that area. And so when I had kids in high school, when I was in high school, and they're all, studying what everybody does a Shakespeare play, right? In high school, we did The Merchant of Venice. That was the Shakespeare play that I actually had to read. And I didn't understand anything. Like I was clueless. It took for someone to say Shakespeare's supposed to be seen and not read. That made me go, that made me not feel so bad. But when I got to college, even though we did read and I needed to understand those things, I understood it better. But it wasn't until I was in my 30s that I could truly appreciate the work of Shakespeare. And now in my 40s, I'm like, oh, and we're actually good. We actually did the Renaissance and Reformation and went through Shakespeare. Like my kids watched Hamlet. One of my kids like totally got it. They were like, oh, I get it. And, but watching it in my 40s, I'm like, oh, that's what's going on. I get it. So I couldn't really appreciate Shakespeare until my 30s or 40s, while kids in high school got it and I didn't. So I don't know. That's just one example. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Talk about summer non-traditional learning activities, projects, outings, etc. Acronym. Can we do a live on just acronyms and homeschool terms? Oh, you mean like IEW and what's another acronym? IEW. That would be a video. I could do a reel on that. That would be fun. Homeschool acronyms, part 1. Oh, that would be more of, I don't know, make me a list I'll have fun with. That would be fun. I need to write that down. Because I you know what I want to do? Because I'm crazy. When the school year starts and I stop doing these lives because I need my Tuesday nights back. Because school starts, no one's going to come in on a live on a Tuesday night. It's, when school starts. But I want to do 100 days of reels back to back. Yeah, I do want to make it a series. So I'm going to do 100 days of reel starting when we start our homeschooling. And I'm going to be like, okay, this is what we're doing today. Like a reel. Like today I ran into this problem, or today I had an epiphany and this is what I want to share. And then, or like something really silly. Like, I don't know if you saw that reel. Like that one did really well. The silly ones do well. Like the one where me and my daughter like sing that song that it was trendy or whatever because it was fun. But I want to do 100 days of reels back to back and then do one long form video, like information, and then just do, because I have to take Saturday off. So I'll do like 5 reels a week is what I'm thinking at. I can make it a series. Homeschool acronyms, part 1. PEP. Like those funny videos of Gen Z or text lingo being done in real life conversations. Oh, yeah. I like thrive off of those videos. And then I say them to my kids, like use those terms. Like so sus. It's sus. Of course, like it takes a while because my son actually, like my 14-year-old thinks it's like kind of cool that I use that term. Maybe he doesn't think it's cool. He just thinks it's normal. That's so sus, man. Yeah, no, I get it. Let me think how I could do that. That would be just fun. But I don't think, maybe just me and my husband won't get on the camera. I can say, oh man, you know who I'm going to visit in a couple weeks? Okay, you, who is a good communicator for work and are an author, got C's in English. That is super encouraging. Amazing how God brought you completely opposite what the world tried to label you. Yeah. Do you know, okay, like this is something, this is like, you know how it says to confess your sins to others, or not sin? Yeah, it is a sin. This is one thing that I struggle with tremendously because I knew as a kid I struggled with understanding really big concepts or even little concepts. I shouldn't say big concepts. It's both. I didn't understand things. I remember I wanted to read the Bible when I was a teenager, but something in the back of my mind kept telling me I wouldn't understand what it says. And I think actually somebody made a comment to me like, don't read Revelation. It's too advanced for you right now. That has stuck with me through the years. It's like on repeat in my head. Like, oh, it's too hard for you to understand that passage. It's too hard for you to understand Isaiah or Jeremiah or this. And it's a blessing in disguise because when I read those things, I want to get back into the historical context of it. But sometimes I'm like, it's a struggle. Like, do I really, I second guess myself on what I think it means. And then I end up like, you know, so anyway. Okay, so based. Why do we have based? Why did you, oh, you're correcting. Okay. This is me out loud. You who are a communicator for work and are an author, got C's, that is super encouraging me. The world tried to label you based. Okay, a mom who tries. I'm sorry, someone told you that. Interestingly, my God got saved because of reading Revelation first. I just got a bunch of books from the library today. That's awesome. What did you get? I'm about to sign off too, sorry. But Revelation is not easy to understand. And I actually took a full year class. Oh, Based and Stan are Gen Z. Okay, see, I'm not cool because I didn't know what that meant. I was like, she's saying something. Is it a mistype? That's what I thought. And I don't know what those are. Okay, bunch of kids' books. I'm following like 3 conversations right now. If you don't know what I'm doing, if I seem like I'm all over the place, that's because I am. Yeah, I did a whole year class. I actually took some college, like I took some classes at a seminary because I wanted to know more. But oh my gosh, I just love just sitting in them. I like to listen to people teach the Bible. Okay, not being able to understand it is what made him realize he needed God. Yeah. Especially like if you break down Revelation, like it's like you could go this way, this way, this way, this way. And then you've got all the different eschatology. And like it's funny too, because me and my husband have been revisiting some of the different eschatology. And I've been visiting different churches because I want to hear their perspective on these things. there's one church, I heard their perspective and I kept going back to scripture and I kept checking everything. And I just got so fed up. I'm like, nope, gone. I'm not going back. Like, I was like, I disagree with that. And I know I disagree with that because, and I can actually like articulate it. The latter parts of the book. Yeah, that's, yeah. Yes. I know. It's so funny. Like, Daniel's hard. And then you like open the book of Daniel and then you start reading it and you're like, Psh, this is not hard. And then you get to like chapter 6 and then you're like, yeah. And Ezekiel is just way out there. And the latter parts of the book of Daniel. Yeah. Oh, you're correcting yourself. Gotcha. Yeah. Those are all. Isaiah, I am going through Isaiah right now with a study. And Isaiah to me is like mentally exhausting. Like I'm just, like, it just, my brain hurts. Because I feel like it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just mentally, it's just, I feel like it's just doom and gloom, but not really doom and gloom. It's like, but then it's like, I don't know, it like switches gears and then you're like, oh, great. And then you're like, and like you're going up and down and then it's just, it just hurts my brain to read that book. Yet I'm going through. Yeah, there's some really good stuff in Isaiah. Like I can read Isaiah in like chunks. Like I could put, like, there's certain scriptures that are really good. Isaiah 43, I think it's Isaiah 43:11 that I wrote somewhere. I don't even watch that be like the weirdest verse ever because I'm just, I don't know. I don't have a Bible. My Bible's on my phone. All the other Bibles are over there. Isaiah 43:11. I just remember writing that number down and going, that's a good verse. So, what's in it? Isaiah 53. That one that everybody loves to quote. Anyway, we did all of Revelation, then followed it up with it was a long couple of years for our congregation. You know, it's funny because people in our congregation, so my husband's in charge of all the Bibles. This has to do with books, right? My husband does all the Bible studies at our congregation. He's like the thing. That's cool. Playing the harp is really hard. That's like the hardest instrument, isn't it? It's beautiful though. Yeah, look at that. I am the Lord and besides me there is no so I thought, yeah, and no savior. I thought it was other. Either way, it works. I am the Lord and besides me there is no savior. The whole chapter is good. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so every time we're like, go through Revelation, and people in the audience or who listen to him in the class, they always tell him, go through it in times. Revelation. My husband's like, I am not touching that book until we go through like Jeremiah and Isaiah and all these other books that he lists. He's like, it's important to go through those. It's okay. I have a kid's King James Version Bible. It's a challenge to understand. And yes, I have to use a magnifying glass port. Okay, yeah. Keep up with my pastor. You know what? I wonder if that's why I also struggled too, is because at that time in my life, somebody told me like they were King James only and I only had a King James. I didn't even have a New King James. So I couldn't understand King James at that age. So anyway, I don't want to get into that debate on my channel because that's not what we're here for. Anyway, I think I'm done with my life because it's been almost 70 minutes and I do need to go because I want to record a video for Thursday and my plan is to talk about testing and how to interpret scores for the standardized testing because that's actually what I do with a lot of homeschoolers. So I'm going to make that video right now. I'm going to get off, check on my kids and my husband and do the video. I'll be wearing this. But that's my goal tonight, and hopefully I'll be able to get that out for you on Thursday. If not, you'll get something Thursday. So, all right. I can't understand all of it, but I'm getting the hang of it, and we'll have some friends at my church that will help anybody. All right. Thank you. All right. So, okay, I'm going to go, and I will see you guys. I'll figure out. I like the summer because we're talking summer. I like that idea. That's the one that I'm leaning towards after all of those. The summer ideas, summer homeschooling. We can do that. Let's do it. All right. Talk to you guys later and see you later. Bye.